Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autobots and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
And I'm your other host, Audrey.
And you know, we always, we as humans must always strive to surpass our weaknesses and kind of help overcome our weakest links here. And so I think it is very brave of the Armada animation team to have made an episode entirely about aerial combat when that has consistently been the area with which they have utterly failed to animate things properly. I do have to applaud them for that.
I will say that for the most part, they do okay. There are obviously some shots where it's like, oh, no, that wasn't animated, was it? That was just sort of, again, a dragged asset. But, you know, enough of it, given that it is like 100% of the episode, enough of it was watchable to be, like, watchable, you know?
Yeah, no, this is not quite as bad as Decisive Battle, where you know, Blur and Hotshot turned into fucking Adult Swim animation. But there was definitely a lot of Jetfire moving around as a JPEG in this episode.
Yeah, there was just, like, weird timing stuff as well, which maybe seems weirder to me into Japanese, since I know that was how it was animated, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just, like, it's not, like, an issue of the dubbing or anything. Specifically, there's, like, one line where, like, and we'll get to it eventually, where Thrust is like, oh, I gotta dodge, and then it, like, he's looking at the shot come towards him and chooses at the very last minute to transform, even though he sees it coming for a while, and dodge it.
That's also how it is in the dub. He's like,
well, yeah,
uh-oh.
I mean, obviously it has to be that way in the dub if that's how it is in the sub. I'm just saying that it's, like, stranger to me to see it in the sub because it's obviously not, like, a dubbing error. You know what I mean? Like, it is obviously animated that way originally.
Of course. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, of course. Today we watched 2 episodes of Transformers Armada, whose numbers I don't remember because
26 and 27.
Thank you. 2B has decided to track things in a very confusing and arbitrary way. So we watched Link Up in the dub. That is our first episode here.
Link Up Fusion.
Once again, the continuing pattern. Just get rid of that extra word. We don't need that fucking shit. Get out of here. Just Link Up. And this is kind of our first actual introduction to Jetfire, because he only showed up for about 3 minutes at the end of the last episode and didn't really do much.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are getting a much clearer vision that Jetfire is kind of the like rowdy maverick of the Autobot command.
He feels actually a lot like Rodimus.
Yes, he is very much in the same vein of a IDW Rodimus, maybe not quite as conceited or self-important, but definitely reckless and youthful as a
IDW and also, like, original G1.
Yeah, because I always forget, Rodimus Prime, when he took over in the 3rd season, he was a much more, like, headstrong and unsure leader compared to Optimus Prime's, stalwart authority figure.
Yeah.
And so we kind of get the mood here where Jetfire is very reliable, he's very powerful, but he is younger and he is brasher and he just loves to fucking tussle. He just loves to have a good time. Yeah,
and there's like he is Optimus's right-hand man. And, you don't get to be Optimus's right-hand man without being good at your job. So clearly he's skilled, but his actual combat experience is different, at least. Maybe not more limited, but different than everyone else on the team right now.
I'm Optimus's right-hand arm. Man.
I'm his little bunny rabbit.
Liz is like, does he call you that?
No.
And by the way, I don't know if you saw, but I finally have a way to describe Jetfire's dub voice. It is, what if Solid Snake was a bro?
Yeah, and Nero, also you got it wrong. I'm Optimus's right foot, leg, foot.
Pants. Yeah, this is where the fucking, oh man. When we say that Jetfire is the chief support to Optimus's command structure, we do mean arch support, but we'll get to that.
No, yeah, we're really quite literally answering the question of who wears the pants in the relationship.
And for the first time, we have to decide who is the pants in the relationship, which I don't think is ever a thing that has come up before, but we have the answer.
Yeah.
Anyway, Optimus is super fucked up after that last battle, and he is chilling in the med bay. He is taking a break.
He's having a little sit down.
Yeah, Red Alert's like, he's not in any immediate danger. I just need to make sure like he's in peak fighting form, because Thrust is here now, and he is not someone you want to fuck around with.
Ratchet's like, yeah, he's fine, but he's dead. Don't bother him.
Let him sleep. Let Dad sleep it off. All right. He'll be back next week, but for now he just has to. He has a headache. And so the command has fallen to Jetfire, who is of course taking his new role with a lot of humbleness and grace and
sobriety.
All that sort of thing. Sobriety. Just kidding. He's like, hell yeah, my name's Jetfire. I'm your cool new dad. What's up?
Well, yeah. So now that Jetfire is here, Optimus can finally actually slide into being dad, as Jetfire takes over being cool uncle.
That is correct. Yes. Because man, Jetfire has huge cool uncle energy in these episodes with his interactions with the kids. So we cut up to the moon base time, and of course, everyone's real mad at Thrust. Well, Demolisher is real mad at Thrust in particular. He's like, his plan, he's talking up his plan like nothing else, and he fucking failed, and we got our asses kicked. His
Seiyu deserves an Emmy for this scene. That guy's putting in work. He's like, Nadia! He's just like, what are you doing? What do you think you're, like, what is the plan? What is your strategy? What are you doing, Thrust? It's really good.
And Thrust is like, okay, listen, I admit I did not account for the unexpected appearance of Jetfire, but now that we know about him, I can account for that and make a new plan, which was assuredly going to win. And this entire time, it's great because Megatron, he's not mad at Thrust yet. But he is looking very bored and just sort of, he's basically fucking Skyrim Jarl sitting on his throne. And he does tell Demolisher to calm down and lay off Thrust. But then he also turns to Thrust and goes, but you do have a plan to win, right? Like, this one will work, right?
And Thrust, like, looks out through the broken hole of the Nemesis, and looks up at all the stars, and he goes, have you ever played Katamari? I see it. I see the cosmos. And he's like, Megatron, your victory is written in the stars. Don't worry about it. I got you, bro.
Are you his tactician or his fucking chief astrologer, Thrust? You can't keep doing this shit. First it was like, a ray of sunlight has blessed you with victory, Megatron, and now it's like, another sign from the universe. The stars herald your great triumph. It's like, come on, man. You can't keep doing this. You're eventually going to run out of, like, cosmological events that you can ascribe meaning to.
It depends on what version you're in. Apparently, sometimes meteors try to attack and you have to fend them off with the Cosmotector.
And it's so important that the narrator has to talk about it.
It's true, yeah. Sometimes that happens, Who can say when it'll happen again?
we cut down back to Autobase, and the Autobots are talking about Thrust, and we get a bit more like detail about just how infamous he is, because Blur is like, yeah, I remember Vector, and Hotshot's like, you mean that planet where the entire Autobot force station there got absolutely destroyed? And Blur's like, yeah, it was Thrust. He fucked us up real bad.
So they named 3 other planets where I find this interesting because it sort of like gives a galactic scale to the war that we lack sometimes.
Yeah.
So they mentioned 3 other planets that have been like battlefronts, where Thrust has basically fucked the Autobots real good, and those planets are Orga, Droy, and Duke.
Those are also all of the names in the dub. It's interesting that this version of the Civil War seems to not super be centered on Cybertron, and it has spread out because presumably they are looking for mini-cons throughout the cosmos, and they know that there aren't any on Cybertron. So
yes and no, I think, in terms of like the impetus to it, because the expansion of the Decepticons' power beyond Cybertron was actually what, like, it sort of ignited the war.
Oh, that's right.
Right? So, like, we have that as, like, canonical lore, where the Autobots were like, not so sure about this for as long as the Decepticons were staying on Cybertron. But it was as soon as they started sort of trying to colonize other planets that the Autobots were like, no, this has gone too far. And that's when the war actually began. So this has, from its very inception, been a multi-planetary war.
That's true. I did completely forget about that detail about this continuity's version of the war. So yeah, it makes total sense that there are like little battlefronts scattered throughout the cosmos here, little beachhead planets, as it were, where little skirmishes are happening. And Thrust is apparently just hopping from planet to planet and just demolishing the Autobot resistance. But Jetfire's not worried, though. Jetfire can take him.
Yeah.
Well, you seen that guy? You seen how fucked up his head is? I can totally beat him.
There's also a really cute moment where, Billy specifically is like, yeah, great. Like, it's awesome that Jetfire is here. Maybe we won't suck so hard now. And Jetfire's like, you saying we suck hard? And Billy's like, no, I'm not. But Jetfire's like, yeah, I'm just joshing with you. And he sticks his finger out, and Billy fist pumps it, and it's really cute.
He's the cool uncle.
Yeah.
And you know, speak of the devil and he shall appear, Thrust is flying around their base randomly.
Hey,
apparently.
How did they find out, though?
I assume they just have like surveillance around their base.
Interesting. Okay, so in the dub, all the Microns have been beeping for like several minutes.
Oh, right, yeah,
the
there's that
like,
detail.
Yeah, the kids are like, so there's like a UFO above us, and they all go over to the screens to check it out, and everyone except Jetfire's like, that's fucking Thrust. And Jetfire's like, man, why didn't the Microns say anything before? Like, all the Microns just beep at him. And all the kids are like, yeah, no, they say that they've been saying this for, like, several minutes.
That's hilarious. I did forget about that, because he's like, what the hell? What are these guys on about? What are they talking about? So he goes, he's like, hey, listen, I'll be right back. Don't tell Optimus about this. I'm just going to go deal with the guy real quick. It'll be fine. And everyone is like, I don't know about this one. Jetfire is like, I'm the guy, I'm the coolest, I'm the best. I'll be right back. And he flies off.
Yeah, anyway, see you later, don't tell Optimus, love you, bye!
And then Thrust, as soon as he sees him, and goes, you fucking idiot, or gotcha! And leads him on a wild goose chase, sort of high up in the sky, until, you know, the plan is revealed. And yet again, this is another good plan.
Yeah, so I do like whoever is doing the subs on these. Shout out to this like translator group, because they really obviously have a pretty deep appreciation for like Transformers lore, because all the things I've mentioned, that like slag and pit and all the things that they say that use sort of like canon terminology, I know they're not actually being said in Japanese. Like I know this, but what gets translated here as Thrust leads Jetfire into his trap, which is just like another good line I really appreciated, is he's a truly short-circuited fool.
So the clouds part reveals in formation we have Cyclonus, Starscream, the air defense minicon team, and the air attack minicon team, all ready to fuck Jetfire up. And immediately the kids are like, oh my god, no, he's using minicons again. Jetfire, you have to be careful. And he's like, don't worry about it, I'll be fine, I'm good at shooting. And he immediately, now, kids at home, play along. Who's the first person he shoots at? Or may I remind you, the 3 targets are Thrust, Cyclonus, and Starscream. If you guessed anyone other than Cyclonus, you haven't been watching the show.
Dora the Explorer voice. That's right! It was Sandstorm!
I think Cyclonus just has, like, a latent ability that draws aggro. People just love to shoot at him.
He just has a very punchable face, even when he's a helicopter.
He is a very punchable helicopter. I don't know how to explain it. I just hate that fucking, like, little curved cockpit he has. I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah. They, So interestingly, all the Microns are there, but no one is power linking, because shut up.
I mean, I guess, like, yeah. I wonder why. I think they should have brought some, like, minicons for Cyclonus to power link with at least, but it seems like they don't really need to, because he does miss Cyclonus. Cyclonus does actually dodge the first shot, which is usually not how this goes.
Yeah, usually he'd be face down in the dirt at this point.
Or in this case, face down in the ocean, because they are...
Yeah, or in the snow.
They are indeed flying over open sea, which makes it impossible for the other Autobots to back Jetfire up.
And also impossible for them to try them in a court of law. So, you know.
International waters, Jetfire! You'll never get us! And so... everyone at base is like, oh, fuck, goddammit, I knew this was gonna happen. And Scavenger's like, this is why you never underestimate Thrust. We need to find a way to back him up, but we can't wake Optimus up. So they find an island, and Smokescreen's like, great, I'm gonna head out. He takes Blur and Hotshot with him. And this entire time, Jetfire is just getting fucked up by the Decepticons and their minicons here. Interesting that we have the Starsaber minicons here, but they are not combined into the Starsaber right now. They're just flying solo here for a bit.
But it is very interesting that even for a moment, Megatron would let the Starsaber out of his hands.
He must really actually trust Thrust if he does that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a feeling after this might not be willing to do that again. It all depends.
There is one part of me, so as Jetfire gets fucked up by the Microns, and this is like the only possible reason that I could think of that they wouldn't be power linking, is because that the sheer numbers of Microns can actually be used against Jetfire as a shield because he refuses to shoot them, which becomes like pretty immediately obvious to Thrust. And as it does become immediately obvious to Thrust, he, signals to Starscream. He's like, all right, Starscream, who I guess has power linked because he's using his null rays, which I'm pretty sure he can only do when he's power linked with Grid. So he signals to Starscream. He's like, all right, finish him off. And Starscream powers up his null rays. And all I can think of is like, woof, messy breakup in every continuity, huh?
God. Yeah, I guess Starscream is supposed to be he's the one who delivers the coup de grace in this plan here, which is, yet again, Thrust does seem to have a pretty high opinion of Starscream. He's the one who told Megatron, hey, listen, Starscream's the only one of these guys who's worth a damn, so I'm going to make him my lieutenant in all these plans.
Yeah.
So, when, Jetfire does manage to dodge it, but, he can't fire back because he is literally being, entirely surrounded by these little jets. They're, flying around him in a swarm and just shooting him, so he can't do anything. Meanwhile, support team arrives on the island. Smokescreen goes in to shoot down who I believe is I believe, does he take aim at Cyclonus again, or does he actually take aim at Thrust? Because I want it to be Cyclonus very badly.
I honestly did not pay that much attention.
I'm just going to say that he takes aim at Cyclonus because I think it's very funny. But immediately, his fucking crane arm gets blown off by Demolisher.
Yeah, so, Oh, was that what he was gonna do? Okay, no. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So it's slightly...
Was he trying to deliver the Skyboom shield?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So in the sub, they all warp there and they see Jetfire in the sky and they see that he's getting like bombarded and they're like, all right, well, if he had the world's most indestructible shield, maybe he wouldn't be so fucked. And Blur looks at Grap and goes, can you reach it from there? And Grap's like, oh yeah, I got this. And I was really gonna say, I had like original note here. I was in the middle of typing it as the scene was going on. That was like, Grap, you've one job, but you do it well. But as I was typing that, I was typing, you've one job, and then his arm gets blown off.
And yeah, he does it well, and the Decepticons know this, and that's why they immediately take out the fucking payload dispenser here. And Demolisher's like, for some reason, he's like, I'm Demolisher, the mighty Decepticon warrior. It's like, yeah, we know.
Great.
We've been new. We know who you are. Sideways is also there. He's not really saying anything, though.
That'll change.
Yeah, so they, of course, get pinned down.
Your life ends in 30 minutes.
Yep. They get pinned down. Smokescreen is forced to cower behind the Skyboom shield here. Along with everyone else, they cannot deliver any, firing support to Jetfire here. And this is when Megatron shows up and is like, are you fucking kidding me? Prime isn't even here? Prime didn't even come? I'm fucking pissed. I'm gonna kill all of y'all.
Yeah.
How dare he? I make this beautiful... I have my wonderful squid-headed tactician make this beautiful plan to murder the shit out of his best bro.
I have Dan Aykroyd from the Coneheads here and fighting for all of us.
And he doesn't even come. He doesn't even show up. What kind of arch rival is he? I'm just going to use the Star Saber to just destroy everyone.
So what is really interesting to me about this point is that he's like, all right, summons the Star Saber, but he uses the word evolution. Which, again, in the sub, is the equivalent to power link.
I guess it's because the minicons power link with each other to form the Star Saber.
I guess so. But it's, obviously not traditional power linking. You know what I mean? So I did find that really interesting that he was like, okay, Star Saber, evolution! And then it's just the normal Star Saber.
Like I said, it should be the evil purple Dark Saber. They never put that in the show, and it would have been cool. At one point, Scavenger is watching Jetfire getting fucking perforated with laser fire, and he's basically just like, Thrust, you magnificent bastard, I read your book. He's just like, Thrust is a brilliant tactician. This plan is incredible. It's fucking airtight. I'm in awe. And the kids are just like, you could be less appreciative of him, Jetfire's out there getting heat.
Yeah.
So at this point, Blur and Hotshot are kind of trying to flee the scene, trying to regroup here. I believe they're being pursued by Cyclonus and or Sideways. And Megatron is attacking Smokescreen, who has the Skyboom shield. He's basically just like, you are too fucking weak to actually use that shield. That's why you're just the delivery boy for it. So why don't you just give it to me? So someone with real power can wield it. And Smokescreen's just like, hey, why don't you go fuck yourself instead? That would be nice.
And Megatron's like, well, I gave you one chance for mercy. And the Hot Rod's like, cool, go fuck yourself. Again. Cannot emphasize this enough, go fuck yourself.
So things are going poorly. And Red Alert and Scavenger are basically like, all right, we need to get out there and help them. But the kids go like, okay, well, so one of you needs to stay here, though, because Optimus is still in bed. And they're like, fuck, goddammit. They're right. So they start arguing about who should go out. It's like, Red Alert's like, I'll go. And Scavenger's like, no, I'll go. You need to look out for Optimus. And then...
We get a really cool shot here, actually, in my opinion.
Yes.
So
because
it,
what do we see on the monitor?
well, it's not. It's actually before we see on the monitor. Well, unless you're talking about the bed, the bottom of the bed.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so what we see here, as they start arguing, I know what you're talking a little later on, but it goes to like the bottom of Optimus's bed, where there's all these like cables jacked into it of his sick bed, and you can still hear them arguing over this, but as they argue, all of the cables disengage. And you just see them all fall to the floor, which I think is like a really cool shot, especially with the diegetic sound of everyone else like arguing about him off screen.
Yeah, and then the monitor comes up. Someone's in the warp gate room.
Yeah, they get an alert. They get an alert being like, launch approved, launch commencing, and everyone's like, wait, what the fuck?
Whoa, hang on. They all look around. Hang on, everyone's here. So who's that? And they open the monitor, and it's a very tired-looking Optimus. And they're like, no, you get back in bed, sir. And he's like, no, you gotta send me. I gotta go. Trust me. I have a plan.
Does he say exactly where he wants to go?
I'm trying to remember. I think he does say, like, you just drop me in. He's like, just drop me right above Jetfire's position, and I will handle it from there.
Okay, he's... In the sub, he's like, warp me to Thrust's coordinates.
I'm gonna get him.
Gonna get that motherfucker.
And so, yeah, we see Thrust again, and he's like, alright, the other Autobots are handled. Optimus Prime isn't here. Starscream, let's hit him again. And so, Starscream goes in for another dive.
For another divorce shot.
Yeah, this is the point where Optimus appears right next to Thrust, who goes, oh, fuck, not again.
They're in mid-air! So Optimus just dive bombs him!
Yeah, he just dives on him. He blows Starscream out of the sky, mid-air, and while he's doing this, Starscream like wails as he fucking falls to the sea, and Optimus goes, I guess they don't call him Starscream for nothing.
360 no skips. Oh my god, great. That's some straight up fan fiction shit.
It is.
So different context.
So this is when he is flying right towards Jetfire, and Thrust is like, okay, what is happening here? And what is happening here is that they fucking power link. It's time for Jet Convoy, baby. They do say Jet Convoy in the dub.
So, okay, before they power link, Optimus dive bombs Thrust, but this is the point that we were actually talking about earlier, where Thrust is like, oh shit, gotta get out of the way, and then waits like a weirdly long amount of time before he transforms and goes out of the way.
Yes.
Moves out of the way. But he does. He does manage to dodge, and meanwhile, Optimus is still dive bombing towards the ocean because he can't fucking fly, and all the kids are like, "Oh my god, he's going to shatter to bits on the like a harsh ocean floor." Jesus Christ, somebody do something! and Jetfire's like, "Commander," and like flies down after them, and the rest is a little bit like, "Oh, how pathetic!" Like, you know, trying to save your commander in this way, but he's going to die in the ocean floor. And it's like, that's what you think. We're a fusion, baby.
Yep. So they combine. Also, I got my events out of order. Starscream actually pursues them first. He pursues Optimus and Jetfire first to try and shoot them down. Then they combine, shoot him out of the sky, and that's when Optimus says, "I don't call him Starscream for nothing."
Great. Yeah.
And Thrust is like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, his boot too big for his goddamn feet is what's happening.
So Jetfire has become
Pants.
This is Jet Convoy, as they do, like I said, they do use that name in the dub, which is interesting. Another thing that keeps happening every so often is that sometimes they forget to draw in Jet Convoy, and so sometimes you'll get shots of regular old Super Optimus flying around.
You know, it's a complicated design.
New toys. We haven't really gotten them in yet, but I will say I owned both the Super Optimus toy, the base Optimus toy, and I had Jetfire. So I believe I did make Jet Convoy at some point when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From what I remember, he had a hard time standing up. But, he wrecks shop. Optimus and Jetfire completely, obliterate their shit. And Thrust yet again is like, well, surely this is the last unexpected twist.
Right.
Before 2021 ends, would anyone else like to tell me if they can combine?
Yeah, so in this scene in particular, it's kind of a matter of scale. I don't know her.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Jet Convoy just, wrecks shop. And there's a moment, so all the non-flyers are again, fighting on this island. Including Megatron, who's, been, harassing all the Autobots with the Star Saber, and, Grab's like, man, I can go against him with the Cosmotector, but Blur and Hot Rod are like, nah, man, we've tried that, believe me, just let Optimus do it, we gotta retreat for now. And as they are retreating and, Megatron's going after them, Jet Convoy flies over, and he's, twice the size of Megatron. And
He's fucking huge!
And he just smacks Megatron into the water.
He picks up Demolisher like a little baby and flies him over the ocean. He wraps his hands entirely around Demolisher's waist.
Yeah.
He's fucking enormous. Which, to be fair, I think Base Optimus was also, Super Base Optimus was, pretty big when the few times he did it. Frankly, the thing I'm most surprised about is that, he didn't combine with his base all that much. I think he only did it, 3 times before this.
So how embarrassing do you think it is to be, an army commander's right-hand man and have to be in competition with his fucking trailer? For who gets to be pants.
To be fair, I don't think there is any more competition because Jet Convoy can fly,
right?
And the Super Base can't. I think the trailer is just there to compensate for when Jetfire isn't around.
Yeah.
So yeah, he has destroyed the Decepticons entirely. I guess at some point Cyclonus got shot down. I wasn't really paying attention. I just assume that every single time Cyclonus will get blown out of the sky.
Yeah, it's a fun running joke. It's kind of the Team Rocket blasting off again of Transformers Armada.
And Thrust is like, okay, everyone, time to go.
Well, I do appreciate his line in the Japanese, which is well, that was fun. It's oh, well, as long as you had fun, sir.
Yeah, it's all right, well, time to redraw a bunch of shit now that I know that this can happen, I guess.
But he said it wasn't sarcastic. It was oh, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
And I was
I think he likes the challenge. I think he likes his plans being thwarted for once.
Yeah, but also it's okay, not the point of why you're here, dude.
No, it's not at all, but as long as he's having a good time, I'm happy for
as long, it's not whether you win or lose, right? It's how you play the game.
When you look like that, you need all the W's you can get, is all I'm saying.
Oh, good God. Looks like a friggin' tardigrade.
So everyone's gathering around. Optimus and Jetfire unlink, and everyone's like, damn, that was the sickest shit I've ever seen. And the Jetfire's like, yeah, it's no big. We've combined a bunch of times over the years. We did it all the time. First time we did it in midair, though. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And then Optimus is like, yeah, that was pretty wild. Hey, don't do that shit again, though.
Hey. Look at me.
For real, though?
Look at me.
Look at me. Jetfire, you look at me. Don't pull that shit again.
Don't do that shit again. Yeah.
Jetfire's like, yeah, okay, you're probably right, man. I'm sorry. I just wanted to look cool. I'm the new guy. I wanted to make a good impression. But
Optimus.
And of course we have our fucking everyone laughs ending, which is fucking phenomenal. Time for shit to get weird next episode though, because we got detection.
We get true character.
So we start off with a wonderful.
Well, before we start off, I need to talk about the new OP.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah, is this the changeover point?
Yeah,
okay.
This is so at this episode we are now more than 26 was the official halfway mark of the series. So now we get a new OP and a new ending. And the first OP in the Japanese was like kind of weird. It grew on me, but it had like a weird sort of identity. The new OP, the second OP, fucks severely.
Yeah, watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, this pussy pops severely. It's like, it almost feel, there are parts of it that almost feel like the, Nyan Cat song. But in like a really cool way. I can't really describe it. It's really good. The new ending is also pretty damn good. Good music. I posted a video in our Discord, which you should join if you want to hear about more cool Transformer stuff. I'm just saying.
You heard it here first. The second OP of Micron Legend is Badass Neon Cat.
Yeah. It's just really fucking good. I'm extremely hyped to go through the rest of the series with this as the OP.
Oh yeah. So we open on some fucking arm wrestling. Cause Jetfire, his fucking like extreme bro aura has everyone feeling good and like in high spirits because they have a guy who can turn into pants now for Optimus. Everyone's like, damn, that was cool. So Smokescreen is on his like 75,000th fucking arm wrestling loss in a row. I guess, but he's in high spirits, like, I'll get you next time, buddy. And Hotshot's like, I don't know about that, Smokescreen. I don't think you're beating Jetfire.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, everyone's just kind of doing stuff around the base. And we cut up, and everyone on Autobot is having a great time. They've never been closer. The vibes are great. So we cut up to the moon base, where
they hated Thrust because he spoke the truth. Blocked. All of you are blocked. None of you are free from sin.
Yeah, I love this. So Thrust is like, all right. I listen, I promise you, Megatron, the problem is not my plans. My plans are perfect, and I have never done anything wrong in my life. And Megatron says, I know this, and I love you.
Oh, does he? Because he says, I know,
no.
I don't know this, and I think I might hate you.
He does basically say that. I don't know this, and I think you might suck. But he's like, no, listen to me. He basically says this, I know exactly what our weakness is, all right? I know exactly why my plans keep failing. And it's not because of Jetfire or the Sky Boom Shield or any of that shit. I have the thing. And Megatron's like, okay, well, spit it out then. And Thrust says, promise you won't get angry at me? And Megatron is like, pauses for it and just says, I don't like games. Out with it. Which is Megatron for, I don't promise anything, so you better not say anything stupid. And Thrust says, they know how to work as a team, and we don't. And Megatron immediately goes, you shut the fuck up right now. God. I don't want to hear that from you.
That kind of diplomatic stuff reminds me. Do you want a fun little Audrey story real quick? If we can. Or
I love those.
Yeah, okay. So I'm 4 years younger than my sister, so I got to see her go through getting into adulthood before I had to, which was always fun. And I remember her coming back from college in her freshman year, and my mom straight up asking her how much she'd been drinking. And my sister looked at her and said, do you want the true answer or an answer you'd like to hear? And my mother goes, how about you try a combination of both? And my sister replies with, I've never drank so much that I've passed out or lost my memory. And my mom said, or made myself sick. That's what it was. I've never drank so much that I've passed out or made myself sick. And my mom said, good answer. And that was the end of that conversation.
Yeah. Well, that is not the end of this conversation because Megatron is about to split that fucking squid head right open before Thrust is like, all right, you need to hear me out. I promise you that I can work with this. You just have to let me do some light critique of you and your team dynamics. And Megatron's like, fine. Whatever. Do what you will.
They also, like, one of the important parts of this conversation, which also gets echoed later on at the Autobots, like in the next scene, is their discussion of how temporary this situation is. Where they're like, we are going to leave Earth someday. Like, we need, and like, as soon as we have the Microns, we're going to leave Earth. And Megatron basically says, like, yeah, you're right, we can't stay on this backwater Hicksville planet forever. So this is something that's sort of, like, newly introduced, is the concept of them leaving, and possibly leaving not that long from now, which I thought was interesting. And it does get echoed almost immediately by the Autobots in the next scene. Alexa, Carlos, and Rad are talking to Hot Rod, and Hot Rod's like, yeah, we don't want to be a burden on this planet forever. Eventually we're going to have to leave as well.
Yeah. Like, the sort of impermanence of the situation finally kind of starts up, because, like, yeah, they're only here for the minicons. Once those are all squared away, they gotta leave and, like, clean shit up back on Cybertron.
Yeah, so, like, Hot Rod says this. He's like, yeah, no, we're gonna leave one day. I mean, there's no question about that. And, like, the kids are just silent. And then
He's like, wait, hang on. And Hot Rod's like, but, I mean, we don't know when. Like, I don't know, we could be around for a while. Hey, maybe we'll come back and visit.
That's
immediately saying that, oh god, I made them sad.
It's almost funny. I feel like it's almost funnier in the Japanese, where Hot Rod says this, and then there's just silence, and the kids are like, anyway, let's talk about something else. It's very much like that panel from Mob Psycho 100, where it's like, Sensei, please drive carefully. Why don't we talk about something else for a little while?
Yes. Also, before that cut, we also see Cyclonus and the Demolisher start yelling at Thrust, who turns around and says, See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. None of you know how to work together or work as a team under me. This is why we're getting our ass kicked. And during this entire thing, Sideways is just sitting there watching everything. He's kind of looking around. And Thrust basically turns to Megatron and says, listen, if we get the Skyboom shield, if we can reclaim the shield, our luck will reverse so hard. Once we get the shield, more Decepticons will be drawn to the battlefield. And Megatron's that sounds interesting. And then we get a very ominous cut to Neptune, where a really big spaceship is slowly drifting through space.
Again, Scale, I don't know her.
This is Tidal Wave, by the way. He will show up next episode.
This is Tidal Wave, and Scale, I don't know her. This is absolutely not how large. He's large, but he's absolutely not this large.
Presumably, he's not like right up next to Neptune. It's like in the background, because Neptune, pretty big planet, but like he looks quite big here.
Yeah, but
we'll get more of him later, though.
There's also so Thrust is also like. As he's going on, he's also like, Megatron, what's the one constant in all your failed relationships? And then he goes, it's that cursed motorcycle. Why do you even still have that thing? And he moves over to Doubleface, and he like looks Doubleface directly in the eye, and Doubleface stares back, and there's such the erotic tension between them, folks.
The erotic tension between a fucked up, like, whatever the fuck Sideways is, as we learn later, and a squid man.
Yeah. They're gonna hate fuck before they're done, I tell you what.
So we cut over to the auto base. They're looking for Jetfire. At first they think he's like slacking off and avoiding like base maintenance duty. They're building a shuttle, by the way. The Autobots are like building a ship to return to Cybertron with, because obviously they don't like have one right now.
Which is how this conversation comes about in the first place.
Yeah. So what I really love is that this whole thing starts because Riddler's just like, okay, everyone stop helping, for the love of God. None of you know what you're doing. I'll handle it.
Yeah.
He's like, Optimus, that doesn't go there. Put that down. Hotshot, stop. Cut that out. Listen, I'll just do it myself. I love that detail of Red Alert where he's just like, there's just that little bit of neurotic G1 Red Alert in him. Just a little bit, just a touch.
And then he's like, why don't you guys just do like a fucking clip show while I fix this?
They go to Jetfire. It's like, hey guys, I was just watching a clip show. It's like, there's just a brief little clip show in the middle of this episode where Jetfire's watching the fucking tapes and catching up on all of the exciting events that he missed in the first half of the show. And then he gets to the part where Sideways shows up as an Autobot, and he's like, who the fuck is that guy? And Hotshot explains the whole thing. He's like, well, that's Sideways. He fucking tricked us and took the Star Saber and hurt my feelings very badly.
Oh my god, okay, so obviously this would get lost in translation for many reasons, but there is a bit in the sub here that I think is hilarious, because apparently Skyfire is the only one who speaks English here. Because as they're explaining this to him, he goes, Doubleface, huh? One with two faces. And
Great.
It's like, oh shit! All of this could have been avoided if any of y'all spoke fucking English. God damn, what are you doing in Nebraska?
Oh my god! I never thought about that.
All of this could have been avoided if any of you knew what the word Doubleface meant.
Huh? I never thought about it that way, Jetfire. Damn, I'm really stupid.
I like to think that none of them speak English, and Jetfire is the only one who speaks English, and he's the only one who's able to translate Doubleface.
So he's looking at this, and he's like, "Are you guys sure he's like a Decepticon?"
Well, okay, before we get to that, actually, we have another cut-up.
That's right.
We have another cut-up to the Decepticon base, where Doubleface has, like, cornered Ironhide, and he's like, hey, Ironhide, I need to speak to you. And Ironhide's like, what's up? He's like, man, we cannot trust Thrust. Look at his plans. They fucked us over big time. He's just, like, using his position as a trusted advisor to fuck Megatron over. It's obvious. Can't you see that it's obvious? And Ironhide's like, yeah, no, for sure, yeah, it's obvious, yeah, I'm very intelligent.
Young man, listen up. I am speaking directly into your ear right now, all right? I need you to walk up to the tactician and beat him into a fine paste.
Yeah,
all right?
Yeah, Doubleface is like, you're loyal, right? And Ironhide's like, yeah, I'm super loyal. I'm like the only one here who's loyal. And Doubleface is like, what if I told you that the only way to actually be loyal was to betray Megatron? And Ironhide's like, huh? And Doubleface is like, so he trusts his advisor, but his advisor's gonna fuck him. So for the good of both Megatron and the Decepticons, you gotta fuck Thrust first. And Ironhide's like, I'm not so sure that's how that works. Actually, that seems not great. And Doubleface is like, listen, if you won't do it, I'll do it myself, because I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid of Thrust. And if that means I have to exile Megatron for his own good, so be it.
And the Walter's like, hold on, whoa, he does the fucking Andre the Giant gif.
Yeah,
hang on.
Again, John Mulaney. All right, okay.
I love that Sideways negs Demolisher. It's like, oh, I guess I misjudged you. I thought you were like the real deal, but I mean, listen, if you can't do it yourself, I guess it'll have to fall to me, because I'm not a fucking pussy. And Demolisher's like, hang on, whoa, hey, I can do it. I can totally do it. You just watch me do it. I will fuck Thrust right up. So this is when we cut back to Jetfire, and he's like, hey, I don't think this guy's like a real Decepticon either. And everyone's like, no, he definitely is. He betrayed the shit out of us. And Jetfire's like, yeah, okay, but check this shit out. So remember way back during that incredibly poorly animated episode when Sideways pretended to be knocked out of the fight, and he shot Cyclonus out of the sky. Well, Jetfire has this on tape, and he zooms in, and he sees Sideways shooting Cyclonus down.
And in his hand is a mug that says "World's Worst Decepticon."
and Jetfire is like, I watched this clip like 100 times. It's not a visual error. It's not some weird editing bullshit. That is Sideways shooting his own comrade out of the sky. That guy is shady as fuck. I don't know what's going on with him. So this is when we get thrust. You know, he got called over to the fucking scrap heap. And he's like, "Hello, Demolisher, did you call me? Hello?" And then Demolisher pops out of the fucking rubble and does a giant swing on him.
Yeah.
Fucking just throws him. It's amazing. He's like, "I've got you now, you fucking traitor. You're not going to betray Megatron." And Thrust is like, "Whoa, wait, what the fuck is going on here?"
It's like the opposite of Twink about to pounce.
And so, yeah, he just fucking chucks Thrust, like, into a wall, and Sideways is watching from a distance, and he goes, "Ha, job well done." And he dusts his hands off, and he goes into, like, a weird crystal cave. I don't know where this is, but
And he takes his head off.
Yeah, he does take his head off. We see his true head again, and he's talking to no one again. He's just reporting to space.
And now, you've heard of real recognize real, introducing fake recognize fake, as Starscream is like, "I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I know a weasel when I see it."
When the Sideways is sus. Everyone has cornered Sideways now. Everyone walks in. Megatron, like, drags Demolisher in by the arm. And is like, or no, it's Thrust. Or no, it's
Sandstorm.
Cyclonus.
Sandstorm,
yeah.
yeah.
It's Cyclonus.
Sandstorm is like, "Ironhide, we are parading you in front of this clown because you were stupid enough to believe him.
Like,
We're putting a dunce cap on you as we speak." And this is coming from Sandstorm, so it really burns.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. Also, I love that Sideways hurriedly puts his Decepticon head back on when they walk in. Like, come on, man.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
This is what, then Megatron and Thrust walk in, and Megatron's like, "You fucking rat. You have been sowing the seeds of discord among my ranks this entire time. Well, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. It's time for you to pay for your crimes," which I assume means he is going to shoot Sideways' head off with a fusion cannon.
Yeah.
Or he's going to give him the Starscream special to finish the job this time.
But, if Doubleface has one thing going for him, it is his speed and agility as the smallest physical Decepticon or Transformer, whatever. Fuck it.
His speed, his agility, and his knowledge of buttons that cause cave-ins.
Yeah, that too. So he does cause... So he, like, reveals a panel, presses a big button, and it busts open. It's Hannibal busting through. Because it takes away the opposite wall of the cave, and he transforms into a motorcycle, and he speeds away. And Thrust immediately is like, "Don't let him get away! Chase after him!" And transforms and chases after him. And Starscream's like, "Yeah, you're right," and is about to go. And Megatron's like, "No." Puts a hand on Starscream's shoulder. Is like, "No. Let's see, like, Dust likes to talk. Let's see if he can walk the walk."
Yeah, let's see how loyal Thrust actually is. Let's see if he can back it up. And there's actually really like the animation of Thrust, like, flying out after Sideways.
Yeah, no, this looked... God, if only all their flying looked like this. There's, like, really nice clouds over him, and it's good shit.
It's like a nice, like, trail, like a light trail behind him.
Again, there are moments, and I had, like, a note of this as well, that I didn't put down, but while I was watching that really sort of feel like really good homages to 90s anime, like Escaflowne in particular, or Outlaw Star is another one that comes to mind sometimes. And this is like one of those like moments where it's just like, oh yeah, like sometimes you do know how to animate. Could you keep this up?
I don't think I ever talked about it, but I really like Thrust's alternate mode. I think it looks really good. Like it's I don't know what.
Oh, his jet mode?
Yeah, his jet mode. It's a specific kind of plane, but I really like the vent that's in the middle of it. Yeah. I don't know, it just adds like a good...
if he's going to be the ugliest motherfucker to ever walk in his root mold, then he might as well have a cool alt mode to make up for it.
So we cut down to the auto base, and the only thing I wrote down here is that there's a lot of jokes about Fred wanting to eat.
Oh.
Is there anything of note here?
I don't have any more notes about the Autobots at this point. The rest of my notes in this episode are all about the Decepticons.
Yeah, they're just talking about something. They're just like, well, if we stick together, nothing will happen again. Fred's like, I want to eat. And then we cut back to the good shit here. So Thrust grabs Sideways. He's like, "You're not getting away from me. I've got you now."
And he knees
traitor.
him in the balls!
Yeah, he knees him right in the balls. And is about to just, the rest of the Decepticons show up as Thrust has him grappled. But then, Sideways becomes intangible.
And basically at that point, Megatron's like, all right, Thrust has shown me enough. I don't doubt his loyalty or capability, but this is beyond the scope of his abilities, and I will take care of this with the Star Saber. And he slices Doubleface in two.
And then he puts himself back together again, and everyone's
Doubleface says, "Can you feel your heart burning? Can you feel the struggle within? The fear within me is beyond anything your soul can make. You cannot kill me in a way that matters."
Oh, shit!
Oh, no, that's not what he actually says. That's a Tumblr shitpost.
God, but it would fit right in with this fucking shit.
Yeah,
because he is...
It's the me holding a gun to a mushroom. Tell me the name of your god, you fungal piece of shit.
Tell me the name of God, you virus piece of shit.
Sideways, can you feel your heart burning? Can you feel the struggle within you? The fear within me is beyond anything your soul can make. You cannot kill me in a way that matters. Me cocking the gun, tears streaming down my face. I'm not fucking scared of you.
Me holding the Star Saber, I'm not fucking scared of you.
Hey, OP, what the fuck does this mean? Decay exists as an extant form of life.
So, yeah,
that's a terrifying answer. Have a nice day.
That's basically how this scene goes.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Doubleface, what does that mean? Decay exists as an extant form of life, Megatron. That's a terrifying answer. I'm gonna kill you.
And so he does. He fucking, after the Decepticons just rain lasers on him with no effect, Megatron just walks up and is like, all right, I'm done fucking around with you. He fucking minces Sideways. He like chops him into a bunch of fucking pieces, and they all crumble to the ground. But then a betentacled, severed head of Mirror, his like minicon partner, rises above and taunts them. And I think at this point you'd like to have a story about Sideways' Japanese voice actor.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, I was like, at some point, I'm gonna look up all the seiyus, and I'll do a little bits on them, because, they're pretty good seiyus. For everything that's, like, bad about this show, the voice acting is not actually part of it. But, we have a new ending for this episode, and it was actually good, so I hung out a little bit, and then I got, the equivalent of sucker punched in the jaw by one name that I saw there, and that name is Doubleface's Seiyu, who happens to be Takahiro Sakurai. Now, Takahiro Sakurai is perhaps the single most prolific Seiyu in the history of anime. He's been pretty active since the late 90s to present day. Right now, currently, he is the voice of Miyuki Kazuya in Ace of Diamond, Dia no Ace. And I'm trying to think. He's been Cloud Strife since the original Final Fantasy VII came out. So again, like, a pretty long and storied career. He's a better question than what has Takahiro Sakurai been in. Other notable roles can include like things like Sasori from Naruto, Yosuke from Persona 4. 1 second, let me just look up his filmography here. Rohan Kishibe in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, etc., etc., etc. But right around this time, actually, in the early aughts, I would say probably between like 2001 to 2007, was also where he had a pretty notable career in BL. He played a lot of yaoi protagonists. So specifically off the top of my head, he played, in addition to playing Cloud Strife, which, but mileage may vary. But he played Misaki, the main character of Junjo Romantica. He played Yuri Shibuya, the main character of Kyo Karamao. Yeah, I mean, he played Tentamon in Digimon Adventure, which wasn't gay in the original version, but the dub company did base Tentamon and Koizumi off of a real-life gay couple they knew. So, that's pretty funny. He played...
I guess this confirms that Sideways is indeed gay.
Yeah, he plays one of the main characters in Get Backers, which again is not, like, explicitly gay, but came out in 2002, and, like, it's not explicitly gay, but it's pretty fucking gay. It's, like, everything but, sort of, you know. Interestingly, in a shockingly straight role, though I would say bisexual, because I think all four of the main characters in the show are bisexual. He plays Fakir in Princess Tutu. So, again, like, he's been active. He started really in 1996. He's active to this day. He's Popco in Pop Team Epic. That's pretty funny. He's Reagan in Mob Psycho 100.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's gay.
That's wonderful.
He's gay.
In the English, he is one of so there are these three guys in particular who keep showing up in the fucking Unicron trilogy. They're the fucking Dobson brothers. As Michael, Brian, and Paul, and Sideways is Paul Dobson.
Ah, yes.
They're just a bunch of Canadians, I assume. But yeah, anyway, he rises high above the moon's surface, and he's like, "Do you fucking think that the sword and the shield are the end of it? You don't know what the fuck is out there. There are so many minicons, and you have no idea. Like you have no idea what could possibly await you." And then he just leaves. He's like, "You can't kill me. I will simply come back, and I'm always here. I am your fucking shadows, and he basically is like, you will never fucking sleep again. Bye."
Oh, there's also, yeah, as he goes, so, like, as he reforms himself after getting minced, just really quickly, as he reforms himself after getting minced by Megatron, he sort of reforms himself out of, like, cables in, like, this very long-necked, almost snake-like form. Which could just be a reference to him being a fucking snake. Or it couldn't be a reference at all. But I also wondered if it was a reference to Roku Bead, a long-necked yokai woman in Japanese folklore.
Oh, maybe.
Because he, like, moves the way she, like, tends to move in depictions of her. So, anyway.
I mean, he's a fucking... Sideways is a fucking creepypasta, so you know.
Yeah. Anyway.
I wouldn't put it past them.
He pieces out, but it's okay, because he's about to be replaced by Daddy Big Dick, who's landing.
Yeah, so we cut to a beach where the Autobots and the Decepticons are preparing to fight, and interspersed with, their usual pre-fight banter, we get just exceedingly ominous shots of the fucking gigantic battleship descending through the sky as Tidal Wave is about to arrive.
Again, he's very large, but he's not that large.
You know what his Japanese name is, right?
I don't know.
Shockwave.
Right, good. Okay.
He's Shockwave.
Listen, it's nothing. The rules, the points don't count, and the rules don't matter.
And funnily enough, I believe one of the reasons they renamed him in the dub is because at this point, Hasbro did not have the trademark, the registered trademark for Shockwave. This is also why in Energon there's a guy named Shock Blast who basically looks exactly like Shockwave, but is not named Shockwave. I don't think they would get that back until, I guess, Animated is the next one where he pops up again as a toy.
Well, the Bayverse movies first.
No, Animated Shockwave appeared before live action Shockwave. Dark of the Moon was 2011, I believe.
Oh, you're right. I forgot he wasn't in the first ones. Okay, yeah.
Nope. He's barely in the third one, to be fair.
Honestly, which is a shame because he's the only one that actually looks good in the Bayverse.
He looks so cool.
Yeah, I will say, like, most of the Bayverse designs suck shit, and it's just because it looks like metal like two cars crashing into each other every time they move. But Shockwave is nice and distinct and looks pretty fucking sexy in the Bayverse, I'm not gonna lie.
But no, he's in it for about 4 minutes and says one line, and he has a big worm.
Yep.
The worm gets more screen time than he does.
Again, it's a shame, but he's big sexy in the Bayverse movies. I will give them that much. I will give them that much.
And so next time we will see fucking tidal waves landing as things really get shaken up big time by the big boy. We're playing with the big boys now. But that's it for these episodes. I guess we should hop into questions. None on Twitter, but we got a few on Discord. First off, Garshmallow. Stephen Marshmallow asks, I'm starting to think Sideways may not be entirely trustworthy. Surely that must be a mistake, right? No, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's normal.
It's fine and normal, and everyone trusts him.
And wait, you don't, talk to the depths of space and turn into weird, static goo monsters whenever you're confronted by your coworkers about being a traitor? I do that all the time. I'm doing it right now.
I'm doing it.
I'm a floating disembodied static head right now.
I did it 34 minutes ago.
Casarachnia asks, starting with a guy named Doubleface might be a bit two-faced. What's your favorite Janus symbolism in fiction? Janus, of course, being the Roman god of doorways and pathways and whatnot, who has two faces.
And for which January is named after, because it's looking in the year behind and the year ahead. So I have two answers to this.
It's January.
I have two answers to this. The more literal one is the mayor of Halloween Town from Nightmare Before Christmas.
I was going to say the mayor of Halloween Town. That was the first guy I thought of.
Yeah, I really like him. I think he has a fun design. So Mayor of Halloween Town's number one. In a more cerebral sense, Rion Bakura. Because you know the kind of bitch I am.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of other, double-faced characters. I mean, there's a lot of mask symbology I like. Yeah, but that's more of a comedic thing. That's more of a, Plus, that's 3 of them, not 2.
Yeah, I mean,
so
fair,
I don't think it really
fair enough.
counts.
Fair enough that it's 3 of them, but I don't think it's any less legitimate than the mayor of Halloween Town.
I do like animated Blitzwing a lot. Is the thing.
Yeah.
I like that one of the heads is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, I do like him. I'm trying to think of a serious one, like your more cerebral version, and I'm just
I see what you're saying.
On shit. I should have thought about this harder than I'll just say the mayor of Halloween Town because that's the one I came up with immediately. But of course,
I mean,
damn it,
the classic is Jekyll and Hyde, right?
Right.
That's sort of the literary version of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just blanking on anything.
Mayor of Halloween Town reigns supreme.
He does. I love that. I love that neurotic little bastard. He's so triangular.
And then
also from Cass, what's your opinion on Optimuses / Megatrons who are not the leaders of their larger respective factions like Beast era Megatron and Optimus and Animated Optimus?
I mean,
I love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, most of my experience is with them as the leaders of their of their factions. I
think it introduces an interesting dynamic in those shows in particular.
I mean, I think the one who does it most successfully is Animated Optimus.
Yes. Just some fucking basically a janitor who gets thrust into this insane shit.
Yeah.
Because in that one, Megatron is the leader of the Decepticons.
Definitively.
And he is not to be fucked with. Yeah, guess what happens when a bunch of space bridge technicians try to take him on in the first episode? Things don't go very well for anyone involved, but that one might be a bit on Starscream's part.
I also kind of like, I also do, I mean, he's kind of a jackass in the comics, but I find post-Matrix Optimus in the IDW comics interesting, if not particularly likable.
Yeah, he is very interesting. He is like, there's a lot they do with him that I'm a big fan of, and making him not like the fucking stalwart good guy. He's like, no, he's more complicated than that.
Yeah, he's like, all right, listen, you voted for Starscream. Good luck, Cybertron. I'm
Bye.
out.
I don't want to do all this shit here. You get one half of the Matrix Bumblebee. You get one half of the Matrix Rodimus. I'm Orion Pax now. I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with any of his shit.
OP out. Mic drop.
Yeah, that's pretty great too. And I think Beast Wars Megatron might still be my favorite Megatron. He's just so fucking good.
Oh, sorry.
No, what are you gonna say?
No, finish your thought.
I mean, him as this like almost radical element of the Predacon faction doing a bunch of insane shit through time travel is so good.
Yeah,
because he is on some like mission from God type stuff.
Yeah,
in Beast Wars.
I was also gonna say that like IDW 1 Part 2 Phase 2 Megatron is also interesting in that way.
Oh yeah,
but I'm I have an unpopular opinion, which is that I really think that IDW Megatron Phase 2 IDW Megatron got off the hook too much, was let too much off the hook, because I mean we've talked about this before, but I really feel like basically the happiness of the entire Lost Lake crew was contingent on a universe where he doesn't face any judgment for any of things he did, which feels kind of fucked up to me, but he is interesting for sure in Phase 2 of IDW Comics. After not only leading to Decepticons, but fucking abandoning them.
Yeah, just disbanding them. Officially, disbanding them anyway. Of course, that's when Galvatron steps in, who is a different guy than Megatron, which is not usually the case in IDW, and says, hey, what's up? I'm the Decepticon leader now. Let's go do some shit. I'm trying to think if there are other non-standard... I don't think there are any other examples of non-standard leadership.
A lot changes between different continuities, but those are kind of constant.
Those are mostly pretty constant. Especially now, I think that in a lot of new shows, they are moving away from those kind of differences in the kind of animated era, and going back towards Optimus, Megatron on Cybertron, Civil War, Decepticons evil, Autobots good. They're kind of like uncomplicating a lot of things in many of the new shows.
Yeah.
And finally here from Casey Cosmotactor in the Discord. What novelty CRT television would you want to own?
I don't
know if there's a CRT television, but there's a picture of a fucking epic Hot Wheels custom PC from like 2003, and I want a CRT version of that. Hang on, let me see if I can pull it up here. I probably should have been more specific about Hot Wheels. Yeah, no, there it is. Yeah, check this shit out. Check it out.
I want the Shrek TV.
Ooh, the Shrek TV.
I want the Shrek TV so I can watch all cinematic masterpieces the way their directors intended them to be watched.
Well, it's fucking pro gamer setup. It has a carrying handle. The PC has a carrying handle. That's how you know it's cool. But yeah, no, Shrek TV is the correct answer. That's just the truth. I also want that one really old ass television setup from that one meme picture of the old CRT, or maybe not even CRT. I think it's like a tube television with demon souls on it, surrounded by firewood. I want that setup. That's my gamer setup. Let me see if I can track down that Shrek TV so I can watch the rest of Armada on it.
The way the animators intended it, with their love and care. Folks, we've been Prime Cuts. You can find us.
That's how I would describe Armada, animated with a lot of love and care.
Yeah, exactly. You can find us at Prime Cuts Pod on Twitter. You can also find us on the Noisepace XYZ network, which you can find at noisepace.xyz. A lot of other really good shows on that network, including Night Marinara, Nona Roy's Night Marinara, which is about creepypasta. Kyle XY, which is about Kyle XY. Kamarocha Radio, which is about the Yakuza series, and 0 to 0, which is about superhero movies and
currently they're watching Shazam.
Another shit, but mostly movies. You can also join our Discord. We'd love to have you. We're going to continue plugging it. You can find a link to that Discord in the description of this and all our other episodes, as well as the URL section of our Twitter bio. And if you would like to hear more from me personally, you can follow me on Tumblr or Twitter at Optimum on Prime. I'm Audrey. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast I do, which is Pot of Greed, also on the Noise Space Network, which is about Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're at the beginning of Season 3 of GX, and so far we have a kill count of 2. So, doing great there. And that's it for me. Oh, you can find Pot of Greed. You can find Pot of Greed at Pot of Greed Cast.
I'm sure that kill count won't go any higher.
No, that's probably it.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. That's me.
You can find me on Twitter at DragonSmoocher. You can also find my many other projects in various places. I am on Disney Minus, a show where we are forced by the fucking foul rodent to watch everything on Disney Plus. Latest episode is on The Nutcracker in the Four Realms, a utterly baffling film which came out in 2018. I didn't realize that. That movie looks really bad for something that came out in 2018. I don't know how I don't understand how that got past anybody. Not acceptable. That's at Disney Minus Pod. You can also find a podcast that is now pretty much complete. I did with my friend Jane about She-Ra 2018 over at Podcast of Power. And our next project, which is going to be spinning up real soon, a comprehensive companion podcast to Final Fantasy XIV Online. That's at Heidelin Radio on Twitter. That is Radio Free Heidelin. And, hopefully soon they'll put it back on sale. Haven't yet. I just don't think they have anyway. I haven't checked. They haven't said anything about it. Maybe they silently put it back on sale, but I doubt it. Servers are still crowded. You can't play the free trial. Don't play the free trial. Fuck off.
Play another game.
Go play Final Fantasy XI.
Touch some grass.
Go touch some grass. We gotta build the servers out of fucking scrap in a cave. Because it's a goddamn shortage. Yeah, that's at Highland Radio, and that is us. So until then, I am going to collapse into my constituent parts, reform into horrible static nightmare goo, and fly into the void of space, and while laughing maniacally.
I'm going to try to kill some mushrooms, transform and roll out. Peach.
Decay is its own form of life.
Peach.